Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Wrestling Diaries. This is the podcast show for the average Joe. And we got a really awesome special guest on today. But before we get to the guest, check us out on YouTube. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell for more content we release weekly. Also, check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Overcast, Radio Public, and a plethora of other platforms that host our podcast show. We have a special guest that I actually haven't really had the privilege and honor to get to know yet, Mr. Christopher Pritchett. Did I say your last name correctly, Sarah?
Pigott, P-I-G-O-T-T.
Pigott. I'm sorry. I don't know why I was thinking Pritchett. Pigott. I'm terrible with last names. I'm terrible with names in general. Hello, Chris. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well. So I wanted to ask you know, because I've never really had the chance to get to know you. We both took a course called London Real Academy, and you were in one of the other classes. And so what I guess allured you to wanting to connect with me, man?
Well, it was just, I think it was just fate. It just seemed to be sort of when the stars aligned at the right time. We just sort of I just got decided I'd get in contact, and I've been looking at some of your videos online on YouTube, and it just seemed like a good time to sort of pull the trigger, as Brian Rose would say.
What do you think? What do you think of our stuff, our show? What do you think of it?
It's good. I think you're giving something to the community worldwide, and yeah, it's interesting to see people's personal experiences and what they got to say, and because if you're giving back that way, then you're helping others as well with talking to them and finding out about them, and also educating them as well. So you're providing an educational.
So for people listening to this, let's open up about you a little bit. I mean, I'm learning, meeting you for the first time myself right now. Your name is Christopher Pigott, and you are from England. Tell us what part of England you're from and what you do, man. What's your thing?
I'm from King's Lynn, and I'm running a website called Spiritual Guidance Meditation, and I like to be spiritual, and let's keep trying to connect with spiritual energies, and I'm also interested in finance, forex trading. It's something new has just come up. I think you know Dunja Rumbots. Do you know who that was?
Yes, Dunya is a really good friend of mine.
Yeah, she's introduced me to that just recently. So I think that's something that.
Wow! So we have a mutual friend. That's good. That's awesome. Yeah, she's very smart, and she's a great woman. She was on the podcast once upon a time.
It's good. You're a good business entrepreneur, which is key. And building networks of people, which is something I'm going to try and get into as well. But I was talking about where I was a bit more in Norfolk. If you want to know about that, it's very English and rural and urban as well.
Yeah, you can tell us about that, because I live here in the United States of America, in a state called Alabama. It's not a very culturally enriched state. No offense to my fellow Alabamians. So any of them listening to this are probably very interested, the fact that you're British. I assume they would anyway. So yeah, if you want to go into a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, when I was last in the States, it's a huge place. It's like 10 times the amount size of UK and people as well. So it's diverse of people no matter where you go. So I'd appreciate each state has their own unique value. But in the UK, it's different. Some say that London's the greatest city in the world, and the city has a huge influence over the rest of the entire country. So what goes down in London pretty much has a ripple effect on every other little town throughout, even the rural areas. So things like rules, regulations, laws, and jurisdictions like that. Not that I'm an expert. I'm aware of that, and obviously societal effects on society.
This is probably going to sound like a very ignorant question, but have you ever met the Queen?
No, but I've seen Prince Charles, face, not in face. Well, yeah, I was in the crowd, but yeah, I haven't met the Queen. No, it's not even on my bucket list, to be honest.
Mine either. I was just curious. I didn't. I was just
yeah,
wondering.
If I do, I'll be civil to her and be nice to her and everything. So how'd you do, mom? That sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So the royal family, though, I read once that they don't have any no political pull really. They're just kind of like figureheads of the country itself, and all that stuff's in Parliament and the Prime Minister and all that stuff. Correct?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's more about corporations today than it is about um, the old monarchy. Seems to be going out of date. But they still have some influence in the background socially and in some businesses. But no, I don't think nowhere near as much as they had in terms of corporations. Yeah, on the surface. Don't go too deep because there's sort of what they call conspiracy theories, but
Yeah, we don't want to go too deep. I don't want them to come after you, man. They'll be knocking at your door with guns or billy clubs. So you said, did you say earlier, because I wasn't completely clear, you've visited the States before here?
yeah. I've been on a holiday there last time, actually before the lockdown.
Where did you
with my
go? Where
family.
did you visit?
I was in Arizona, going around, touring around all around the. Yeah, I was in LA for a little while.
What did you think? What did you think of the people in Arizona and in California?
Yeah, they seem welcoming. They realise that it's a big trek to go across the water, and yeah, it's good. It's good to meet people, different people. Really, it was just sort of sightseeing and seeing things I'd never seen before, and had experiences an experience I've never really. I've been to America before a few times, but that was it's a different because being a bit older, I went when I was a kid. So yeah, that's different, and but usually very welcoming people no matter where I went. So I was happy with that. I went with my family, so
Yeah, I feel like if you came here to Alabama, to Birmingham, there'd be like a lot of like these Southern belles. They'd be like, "Oh my God, he has an accent. That's so sexy." And all these girls, all these Southern girls would be like, "Oh my God, where are you from now, sweetheart? Where are you from? He's got a cute little accent."
yeah, that's how it is.
Hey, I'm making fun. Look at this. Roll Tide. I got my Alabama hoodie on. But that's really cool, man. I'd love to visit England, and I was planning on it. I was supposed to go to graduation, but all the COVID stuff happened, so obviously our graduation ceremony cut short. And then they were supposed to do it for this coming up March, this March coming up. So I don't know if that's still going to be a thing or not.
Yeah, I hope so. I really think so. That'd be a good thing to meet you in person.
Yeah. So I've got to gear up for that. I guess find out if that's going to be a thing. If not, I imagine they'd push it back again, which I understand if they do either way. But yeah, I definitely would love to visit the UK. I've got some other friends who've been there before, and they just say that it's a really beautiful place, and it's just definitely a place you got to see before you die. So yeah, I'd love to come visit. What's your favorite part of the UK?
Yeah, I think London's got a lot going for it. Yes, the place to be, really. Yeah, it's thriving for opportunities. Yeah. I think the best place is London, but the type of people in London they travel around a lot, and different people have different circumstances, and therefore you end up with different people from London in different other parts of the country as well. Probably the same where you are, I guess.
Yeah, I assume that it's very cultured there. A lot of different cultures and people coming in and out.
Metropolitan, yeah. Lots
Yeah.
of different cultures, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So what are some of the things that you're into, man? Are you like kind of like a tech geek? Like you into like computers and stuff like that?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
You got the green screen going on in the background there with your mountain.
Yeah, I like music and videos and any technical things. I can do that. I'm fairly technical at that, but I'm not the most technical person ever. But I can get there. I mean, I'm not like an expert programmer or anything like that. Though I'd like to be, I like to think I am, but I'm not. I can do a little bit just to get by when I need to.
You were saying earlier that you have a website and a business you're trying to start based on like spiritual principles or spiritual type things. Can we talk about that? Like, what's that all about?
Well, that was to do with the Brian Rose course, and I've built a website and a course of my own to share with others, and yeah, that's what that's for. The spiritual is to get other people aware of that I'm actually doing this. I'm doing a spiritual practice for myself, and want to share and educate people in a free way that's open and maybe not so closed as like curriculum based education that's going on. So just encouraging people also to do their own research to find out for themselves that they can that they're quite powerful people in each individual, and that you can actually achieve a lot more than just repeating uh, what the authority figure in the classroom says. That's how I see it. I think that has its place, but it shouldn't be just that. It should be a lot of creativity and things like that in schools, which seems to be where I am. There's less of that in the schools. There's less music courses. There's less creative arts courses, which is a shame for young people because that's fun and inclusive. And I feel that this might be an avenue for people to try and explore their in a spiritual way um, their own passions for learning, uh, education, their self education, and knowing who you are. And yeah, you can learn a lot. I think you can learn a lot from just knowing who you are, and then it can sort of spiral from there, whatever your interest is. And yeah, that's how I often decide for myself where I want to go in. If I'm researching something, I decide I'll go with my gut instinct on that. That seems better than just what my head says or something like that.
Okay, so you're wanting to open up people's eyes to more creative things, more independent things through kind of like I guess getting in touch with their spiritual side through that medium or something like that. I guess is what you're
Yeah,
trying to say.
yeah.
Have you always had a mission to do this, or is this just something that's kind of came into your life more recently? Or
Yeah, I always wanted to. I think help people, and I think that is yeah, it's kind of recent in terms of the whole making it into a digital thing. But I've always wanted to be spiritual. My family's into spiritualism, spiritual things, not spiritualism as in the ideology, and that's what we follow because that ends up being like a church.
no, I'm so glad that you're explaining this too, because I was just about to ask you that. Because when you say that stuff, spiritualism and stuff, people are going to think overtly about religion and stuff like that. So I'm glad that you specified that. But anyways, continue on.
Yeah, it's not just it, yeah, I see it as not a religion, um, uh, more so letting you be who you want to be, um, rather than be an ideology, conform to an ideology. I mean, that has its place. I mean, it can unite people in some ways, but
Sure, yeah, it builds community.
yeah,
But I know exactly what you're saying, man. I get it. It's I think that's a hell of a mission.
like Christianity is great. I mean, it's good that people believe in God, and yeah, I promote all of that, but because it's deep within my society, and it's what people have been doing for hundreds of years, following their religions, which is a good thing in many ways. But it's maybe in a modern sense it can be explained in a different way than just reading the Bible and saying Jesus God or Allah, depending on your was Muslim as well, and or Buddha, different religions. Yeah, I think just consciousness is what I'd say it was. It's a kind of what God trying to explain what God is. I see it as a consciousness. We're all kind of like connected from a sort of a oneness, a consciousness, and it sort of is like a God in a way, but it's not like this figure, this person who's looks like a man or woman. It's more like an energy source or something like that. That's the way I see it, and we come from all this one source. It seems like, which is a different way of. I may have got that slightly wrong, but
no,
I'll probably change my mind next year.
You might, but, yeah, it happens.
Developing something else.
Yeah, this is the way you're expressing yourself about the way you feel about this now. So yeah, I don't judge you, man. I'm not one of those like Southerners like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, kid. You need to go to church, and I'm gonna take you to church this Sunday so we can get some Jesus in you. Some of my church friends are going to be so mad at me. I'm joking around here, guys. But yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I have you had a lot of I guess gotten a lot of traffic for people coming to your website and stuff to I guess pursue their selves, their inner consciousness and stuff like that.
Yeah, I got a bit people signing up and that. It's been messaged them about over Christmas, and I'm going to try and take it. So I haven't got a lot of sales, to be honest. I haven't got a lot of sales, but I'm just going to try and continue it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is if whatever it is you're doing, it doesn't matter if you have any sales. If you really believe in what you're doing, then you just have to keep doing it regardless. If it's something that you believe in and you love and you like it, then, you do it. People do that stuff and they pay money for it, right? The people that are crazy about eating cheeseburgers every day, they love it. They wear cheeseburger t-shirts and they go eat cheeseburgers like Matt over here. You're actually wearing a cheeseburger shirt. I was just saying all that stuff. Oh, it's not. They're corn dogs. It's corn dogs.
Messed you up. Hot dogs.
They're hot dogs. Okay. He's wearing a hot dog t-shirt. But no, man, I'm being silly and getting off topic, but yeah, if it's what you love and what you believe in, then you got to do it. As long as, it doesn't hurt you and it's not hurting other people. And I feel like what you're doing is definitely not. You're trying to help people and give back to your community. So
yeah, definitely don't want to hurt people. It's like what's going on now. I don't know if I should go into politics, but it's going on now. Do things peacefully to resolve things, I think, because there's the whole thing with the lockdowns and the mask wearing and everything. It seems like it's made to divide people.
I agree. I think it is too. And I mean, I'm not really that much of a conspiracy theorist, not like I used to be. But yeah, it's definitely, even if it wasn't intentional, which I feel like some of the stuff just seems very blatant. Even if it's just coincidental, it is absolutely dividing people, and it makes me very sad. Because if anything, people need each other, especially right now with the things going on. So the lockdowns and stuff in England are pretty strict. How are y'all handling that? How are you handling it?
Yeah, it's just lockdown, tier 5 now or something. It's just tier 100 next year.
So what can you do? What can't you do over there?
Yeah, it's like it's these regulations that have been put in place, and now they're being enforced by the power of the law enforcement. So they're going around pretty much because it's their job to enforce the law. They probably have to abide by all of the COVID regulations, really, wearing the masks and everything. And it basically, England's becoming ground zero for the COVID vaccine, which isn't really. Yeah, it, yeah, I've looked into it. Done a bit of. I think people are trying to do their own research more and more now, and it's a bit. It doesn't add up really.
Is there a lot of either protesting or rioting going on because of some of this stuff?
Yeah, I went to one actually, to be honest. Because I signed. Yeah, well, I signed up to see David Icke. I went because I want to see a conference. I want to hear what he had to say. I got so annoyed, so I just went to see him. And the protest, I got to see him, got to hear what he had to say. So yeah, but I had to do it through a process, which isn't the best. Isn't what I really want. I want, because what I want is everyone sit down and express themselves in a conference and talk, and I can listen and appreciate it that way, rather than the unfortunate situations which have occurred. Yeah, but I went to one, and it's just all these different people. It's just like going back to normal again, pretty much. Like people, like how you would go if you went to a pub or something like that, and people talking to each other, basically trying to. Yeah, it was at a pinnacle point. It was in November, so I think it's a bit different now. I feel there's a change coming on, and I feel like there's a change, especially in America, because I think what happens in America can have influence over the entire world. But it's just weird how the UK sort of ground zero for the lockdowns. It's the strictest lockdowns, and Bill Gates is rolling out the vaccine.
Oh, really? Is it Bill Gates?
I think he's actually got an office in the UK. He's actually over here in the UK.
You're not a Bill Gates fan, are you?
No. I always thought it was a bit weird, to be honest, the way he acts and things.
Well, my opinion of Bill Gates is I don't have a problem with Bill Gates, but I don't think he should have anything to do with health and like medical things. Like I feel like he should. I mean, he designed a computer and all that. Like,
yeah, IBM. I'm not sure what I think about IBM now.
So I don't know why I don't know why he would have anything to do with like world health stuff. It's weird to me. That's a really weird thing. Like he shouldn't. I think Elon Musk made a comment about that too, about how he's not going to take anything that Bill Gates is coming up with because he's not a doctor, he's not a scientist.
It goes deep, man. Like the whole computer thing as well. It's just like why do we have computers? Yeah. So yeah, and Elon Musk says a lot about that. Yeah. It's the more you go into this information, these sort of conspiracy sort of crime things, the deeper the rabbit hole goes sometimes, and you have to do this connecting of the dots to try and figure it all out. It just takes time sometimes.
Do you consider yourself a big conspiracy theorist?
I'm not as big as some people, but I just like to think things through and to know what's going on in the world, and to think things through. What if it wasn't quite what they say, and what if I keep an open mind and explore it for myself? What will I come up with?
I always try to tell people to just be open-minded about everything. Everything you think you believe or you're subscribed to, question it. Question everything. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think a little cynicism in life is very healthy because it helps you to educate yourself better about what the truths are. I literally question everything. Even things that I really hold dear and stuff, I still question. I question myself. I question myself on decisions I make and things I do. So why wouldn't I do that for anything else? And I feel like people should do more of that. People are so quick to just jump on a bandwagon for something and let it take them wherever it's going to take them. And it's really silly to me that people do that. Like people should do more research and people should really do a lot more digging. Too many people repeat what they see on Facebook or on the news and different things like that. And nobody spends the time. I mean, you're talking about computers earlier. We literally have a box that has all of human information on it. And you can find a lot of stuff and educate yourself with a lot of things if you just take the time. People just aren't willing to take the time to do it, unfortunately. And so then everybody creates echo bubbles, echo chambers for things, and they just stay in there. They want to be on some kind of team. I was talking to my buddy Jeff Wright about that, about how humans, we are innately tribal. It's tribalism, and we're all about, like, back from the caveman days, everybody wants a tribe to be a part of, you know.
I want to feel included as well. It's nice to feel included, but yeah, you've got to challenge yourself and fight resistance.
Yeah, definitely. La resistance. So, Chris, what else do you like to? What do you do for fun, man? What's some of your hobbies and stuff? Things that turn you on, besides conspiracy theories and lizard people.
Yeah,
and stuff.
that's what turns me on. The conspiracy thing. I don't know, man. I music, art.
You like comic books, right? Because I feel like you commented on one. I had a guy on the podcast. We were just nerding out talking about comic books, and I think you sent me a message, or not a message. You commented on our thing about how you really love comics.
Yeah, I do.
Dude, hey, real quick, man. I don't know if you can see this. I'm wearing Avengers socks. Can you see that?
Awesome. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I got those for Christmas. I got a whole pack of like Avengers socks. It's hilarious. Anyways, continue on. Yeah, you like comics?
Yeah, I think I've always liked that as a kid, and I've read them as an adult as well. And it's just exploring the ideas. Like with the Iron Man, I've done a vlog recently about exosuits, military exosuits, which I thought was interesting because that's becoming more and more prevalent in the military.
So what kind of suit is that? Tell us about it.
So it's like an Iron Man suit where you but maybe not quite so elaborate.
Not as high tech, yeah.
Yeah, not as high. Yeah, like millions of dollars or something, billions. I mean, but it's like, yeah, it's the program. It's a lot of people are doing it. DARPA funded, I should think, and it's like an exosuit. Which it's outside, like a crab has a shell. It's outside of the main body, the meat of the human, and it's got legs, like a human leg on the outside, but outside of your leg. So it's like a skeleton, but it's outside of. But it helps with lifting heavy items and things like that. So you could be like 10 times as strong. Yeah, so
I want one of these suits.
I think Talos is the group that makes them.
I'd love to have one of those suits, man. I'd probably be a real bad boy in one of those suits. I don't know. Probably get into a lot of mischief, maybe not. I don't know. I'd probably use it just to impress people or something. I think it would be really fun. Having one of those suits and you're just like picking up your car. Just got your car up and you're freaking like your next door neighbor's passing out.
You could run faster and everything and jump higher.
Also, are they like fireproof, bulletproof and stuff like that? Like they resist damage?
No, that's that. No, I don't think you just have basic in the military application, basic Kevlar if they deployed it in a battlefield or something, or in a military situation. I think it should be Kevlar. Yeah, with the Iron Man idea, it would be like you're superhuman. You couldn't literally everything. You're bulletproof, explosion proof, and you can fall with like 10 Gs at the ground and still survive. So.
He's like a super version of Batman, because Batman has a very basic suit. He wears Kevlar though. It's like bulletproof and stuff, but he doesn't have all the machinery and high tech stuff. He's just a general detective though. Good old Bats.
I like Batman as well. Yeah.
Who's your favorite superhero?
Batman for a long time. Actually, I dressed up as Batman for a fete when I was a little kid.
Oh really?
I got in the newspaper for being a clown, I think. But dressed up as a clown in a fete. But I was Batman. My mum helped me make it up as a whole thing. I think out of an old umbrella.
For like because he has like the rigid like cape that can make him glide. I can see that. That's cool. That's they're filming. They might still be. They're filming the new Batman movie in England. I don't know what part of England, but it's somewhere out there. Did you know about that?
Yeah. I'd like to see that when that comes out. Yeah. That'd be good.
Yeah, it looks really good. The trailer looked really good. Looks very dark, and it looks like it's very, like it's going to be very, I don't know, detective oriented. You know, it's going to be more like of a cerebral type of movie. Yeah, I'm excited about that for whenever it comes out. Got pushed back a couple times because of the COVID stuff. But yeah, I'm excited about that. So, Chris, I'm going to ask you, like I ask a lot of people, This podcast that we do is just for it's generally just for people to get to know you, for me to get to know you. But I also cover about like the things that regular people struggle with in life. You know, like the things that they fight with, the things they wrestle with. That's why it's called The Wrestling Diaries. It's not about professional wrestling, although professional wrestling's pretty cool. I haven't watched it in quite a while.
UFC.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love MMA big time. But what are some of the things that you, as an individual, what do you wrestle with, man?
It's like a bottomless pit of torment and worry. I just, yes, it's bit trying to start up a business. It's really hard, and just to get your feet off the ground, I think. But what I see is the rewards from when people hit that breakthrough from it, and they make that break, and it's just like whoosh, and it's gone, and that it's just brilliant then. So that can happen, and I think that can happen when you least expect it as well. So I was thinking, yeah, I've got to keep at this, and that's really what I'm wrestling with a lot of the time, no matter what I'm applying myself to. I'm thinking, I've got to think, hang on, this is going to happen at some point. I mustn't give up, and got to keep perseverance, I think is what it is.
Do you ever worry about giving up? Or do things ever seem like they get pretty hard for you, and then you're like, oh, this is just I just don't want to have to deal with this anymore. I just want to just forget about it. Do you ever feel like that sometimes when you're trying to do what you're trying to do?
Yeah, I just forget about it. Yeah, and just not even just it's trying to motivate yourself, trying to get yourself up, and getting in gear and going for it, and going for the goal as well. So with the end result that we want is prosperity, which is something I've been looking into actually. I actually looked up in the dictionary because I'm exciting and spend a lot of time looking up things in dictionaries. But prosperity, the definition, I've got it actually. So it says it's the Merriam-Webster website. It says the condition of being successful or thriving. So that's what it's telling me. So yes, I want to be successful. Yes, I want to be thriving. So I want it to continue. I don't want it to just be just one little tiny flicker of success, and then that's it. I want it to be continuing, going on, and sustainable.
I think a lot of people misinterpret it too sometimes, and they think about it as only as a monetary thing or a professional thing. But it's being prosperous also is an emotional, a mental, a physical, and even spiritual thing. To be prosperous as a person and the way you feel, you know, are your feelings like, do you feel good about like what you had? Something I've had to challenge myself with, especially this past year, as rough as it's been, is like, you know, you can sit and complain about the things you don't have, or how your business isn't getting started, or how you don't have a lot of money, or how you lost your job, or how you lost your relationship and all this stuff. But too many people spend more time thinking about the things they've lost besides the things that they have. You know, like if you stop for a minute and actually see what you already have, then you realize that you really are rich and you are prosperous beyond belief, because there's so many people out there that have so much less than we do, you know, and a little optimism goes a whole long way.
Yeah. A little optimism. Yeah, definitely. Because Africa is, I was just sorry, because if you stay optimistic, that then rather than pessimistic, that's definitely.
Yeah, it puts you, even from a mathematical standpoint, it puts you at an advantage, because you feel better about your life, and then when you feel better, you perform better in all aspects, you know. So I feel like, I mean, that's how I look at things, and I try, like, I have a lot of goals too, just like you do, Chris. And, you know, I'm trying to pursue them, and I'm gonna get the ones that I want and stuff. But I'm also in a place in my life where I'm also very happy about where I'm at. And like, if I were to, I don't know, I guess die tomorrow, I still have a lot of gold that I've amassed for myself. And I say that metaphorically speaking. And that's good. I mean, there's still things that I'm chasing, and I'm going to keep chasing to the day I die. And that's really important. But it's also really important to be happy about where you're at, I think. And I think that could carry you a long way. And then that in itself helps you become more successful with the things you're doing. Because if that's your mindset, then you're good. And so then the other stuff that you do is going to be really hardcore. Like, you know, and the effort is going to be really genuine. So
That's deep, man.
I try to give as much depth as I possibly can. People don't think I'm just a weird hillbilly from Alabama. So how do you, what are some of the things, how do you stay motivated and inspired to keep moving on, to keep pressing on with what you're trying to do and accomplish and start your own business and, you know?
Yeah, I see that people can be helped, and it is hard because you're trying to motivate yourself. So yeah, I'm not gonna give up. So what I do is I use techniques. So positive affirmations is one technique to just keep telling myself positive messages that and having faith in myself as well, and seeing the positivity. Sometimes I think you have to be a bit relentless. So yeah, so I think specifically, what if there was one or two things that I would do that than anything else. I think just getting myself in a routine and getting myself exercise, even if it's not strenuous exercise, because you can overdo that as well. And just getting outside and getting connected with nature, because especially if because of the lockdowns and everything, they say you shouldn't be socializing too much, but no.
It's crazy though, because humans are very sociable creatures. Like we have to survive, we have to socialize. That's why the worst thing they can do to you when you're in prison is put you in solitary confinement. Like they're taking you away from all these monsters, these real life murderers and terrorists and stuff like that. They're taking you away from them and putting you by yourself. And that's the worst thing they can do to you. It's a crazy thing, the way that humans are built. So yeah, they got to figure out a better way to do these things and correct course. Because there's a lot of, you know, this thing wasn't the Black Plague like they thought it was going to be. And there needs to be a lot of course correction. And I think that, you know, that's not happening yet, and it needs to.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, the Black Plague. So yeah, it's like the plague, isn't it? So it's the way there.
I mean, that's the way it's treated for some people, but especially in the beginning. Which, I mean, if I'm being honest, I mean, in the very beginning, I was very, very terrified because I didn't know what it was. Nobody did. Nobody knew what it was. So people were scared and freaking out. It's completely understandable. But now that there's been more research done and we have like harder statistics and, you know, and they don't talk about how, you know, we need to improve our immune systems, and people with good immune systems are, you know, better at handling it if they do get the virus and stuff like that. And that information just isn't shared enough. Like, and it's just crazy. There's too much squawking going around, not enough connection for people to come together and have a conversation about things. But anyways, we're getting off a complete topic here.
We're encouraged not to say to speak about openly, which is by some society restrictions, which is kind of where you think this is and that's it, which is what I don't really like.
People should be very safe with what they do, but they should also question things, and they should also research things a lot more. Everybody, both sides of the coin, no matter who you are, whatever political background you fall on, it doesn't matter. Research stuff, question everything. That's what you got to do. That's what you should do. You know, is there, Chris, is there anything else that you, besides like, you know, the hardships of trying to start a business and run a business, is there anything like more personally that you struggle with? Or is that just like one of the main things that you have to fight with every day?
Personally, like, I'm not the most sociable person, to be honest, and I don't even have a girlfriend or anything like that at the moment. So I'm not the most sociable person. So that is something that I'm going to struggle with, and the whole lockdown thing doesn't really help. But so if you go like that, there's an analogy when you go out. I went out most annoying thing after I went to a protest actually in November, which is on the scale of like going to a football match. It was awkward to sit down in a pub and just talk to someone new. You couldn't. It felt awkward and there's also this. I guess just even though there's that resistance, you can still fight. So you'll push through it. So that's just an example of some resistance that's happened. So yeah, just push through it and try and talk to people in any ways they can, even if it's only on Zoom. I mean, you can meet people up and then.
Well, man, I hope everything looks up for you, man. I'll say a prayer for you, for your business and the things you do. Keep my fingers crossed for you, man. I'll send my positive vibes your way and all that good stuff. I hope that you, and I feel like if you keep doing it and you keep doing your research and you keep building it, man, you'll have whatever you want in this life. Just keep working at it. You just got to work hard. It's just really hard work to be prosperous in a professional and monetary sense. You just got to work real hard. And then after that, you're in cruise control.
Sorry. Yeah. I was just going to say, having faith in yourself.
Yeah. That's very important too. And then obviously if you subscribe to religion and, if you believe in God or anything like that stuff's very good too. It's very helpful. It's very, very, very helpful thing to reach out and also friends and family that are motivating and helpful. It's good to keep people of like minds in your life as well to keep you going. So I also suggest that. But I think you're a real smart guy, man. It was really a pleasure to meet you for the first time. It's pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed this. Was this your first podcast to do? Or no, it wasn't, because you were on another podcast, I think.
I was on Ideology to Unity.
Yeah, I listened to that. I completely forgot about that. You did a good job on that one, man. That was a good one. Yeah, that one was more professionally put together than mine. Mine's just kind of like two dudes at a pub having an ale together, drinking and sipping and talking about whatever. That's more my format here, man. It's just very loose, let your hair down type of stuff. But thanks for reaching out, man. And you have a podcast too, don't you? You were telling me that on Messenger.
But spiritual guidance meditation video cast is what it's called.
Yeah, well, I mean, at some point, you want me to be on your show, I'll do that too. Whatever. So I'm going to get you to, your business or your podcast or anything else, if you want to do a plug-in or for how people can find you on social media, you can go ahead and do that now, man. Tell people how they can reach you or get your product.
My spiritual guidance meditation, www.spiritualguidanceMeditation.com. I am on Facebook. If you go to www.facebook.com/Christopher, hang on, I'll get this in a second. It's Christopher.Columbus20. That's my social page. It's also connected to, you find me on Twitter and on YouTube from my spiritual guidance website.
Okay, cool, man. Thank you so much for doing that, man. Thank you for hanging out with me and telling people a little bit about yourself and your story and the things you're involved with, man. We really appreciate it, Chris.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, likewise. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another episode of the Wrestling Diaries, the podcast show for the average Joe. We had Mr. Christopher Pigott, right? Christopher Pigott on today. Check him out. Check out his stuff. And check us out on YouTube. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. We have content that comes out once a week. And more importantly, check out our audio platforms, our audio streams, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, Google Podcast, and find out what people from the regular parts of society are wrestling with. Even people from around the world. He is from England, and we have people locally on, and we have people from all over. And what I find that's so interesting and very important for people to really hear is that even people from other parts of the world that speak differently, different languages and accents, and have different culture, they're all very, very similar to us. And it's something I never really realized until I started making a lot of friends internationally. They're very similar. Like, we're all very, very similar with the things that we deal with and struggle with. That is a very common thing. And I think that's a good way to build brotherhood. And it's important. So what do you wrestle with? And how can you beat it? One love.